All right. Well, welcome everyone to tonight's Phi U chapter chat. I'm Melissa Martin. I'm the National Executive Director for Phi U. This is our 24th session, believe it or not. So we've done quite a few of these and appreciate everyone attending and watching. And again, this will be recorded and available on our YouTube channel. So I want to take just a moment to introduce Dr. Susan Miller, who is the Phi U National President. And
Thank
also
you.
Dr. Ann Collins. She is our president-elect. So if you all just want to say hello.
Yay. Hello, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, greetings, and I'm very much looking forward to learning about Canva tonight. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, so appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited tonight to introduce our special guest. Our session tonight will be led by Tisha Richmond. Tisha is a culinary arts teacher, a Canva specialist, international speaker, author, podcast host, and probably a lot more things that I failed to recognize. Tonight's session is Unlocking the Magic of Canva AI for Family and Consumer Sciences Leaders. Prior to the session, I sent out some information, excuse me, but we have a special discount code for Tisha's new book, which is the Magical CTE Classroom. And I'll drop that link in the chat. Feel free to reach out if you didn't get it. And we're going to learn lots of fun things tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Tisha Richmond.
Thank you so much, Melissa. And thank you, Anne and Susan, for bringing me here as well. Really looking forward to our conversation tonight. And I love Canva. And Canva has just grown leaps and bounds since I started using it, probably in 2014 or 15. So we're going to jump into the AI part of the platform. And I think you'll be really amazed at all of the things that Canva can do. I'm going to get my screen situated here. And we're going to just dive right in. All right. All right. Are you seeing my mountains or are you seeing Canva?
We are seeing the
I
lovely unicorn.
yeah, I think I see Canva.
Perfect. Yay. That's what I wanted. I just wanted to make sure. I'm on vacation, everybody. So I am bringing all of my portable things. So we are going to jump into unlocking the magic of Canva AI for FCS leaders tonight. And thank you, Melissa, for the amazing introduction. I have been in education for 30 years, and most of those years have been in family and consumer science. I started out family and consumer science, received my degree in family and consumer science, began teaching culinary arts back in 1996, and have been in the classroom most of those years. I took a 5-year break to jump into tech integration at the district level, and I supported teachers kinder through high school during that time, and also had the amazing opportunity to work for Canva as a learning consultant. And in that role, I was able to travel globally to districts across the US and beyond, sharing how Canva can be brought into classrooms. And I love that role so much, both of those roles, tech integration and Canva, because it really allowed me to zoom out and really see things from a new perspective. But I am back in the classroom again. I jumped in last year to teach culinary arts, and I teach in a district called Medford in Southern Oregon. So this is my spring break right now, and enjoying some sunshine before hopping back in for our final quarter of the school year. So I would like to get a sense of where you are all at with your comfortability in Canva. So if you could, just in the chat, give me an indication of where you are, anywhere from 1 being unfamiliar with Canva AI, all the way to 5 where you think you might be an expert in Canva. Just throw it in the chat there. All right, so we're all over. We have some 1s, we have a 4, a couple 2s. You guys are, it's perfect. You are just right where you need to be. If you are a beginner in Canva, some of the foundational pieces might be a little new to you, but I think you're going to be amazed at what is possible. And for those of you who have been designing in Canva, you're going to just be able to take some of these ideas and run with them. So good to kind of get a sense of where we are all at. For those of you who are fairly new to Canva, if you are in education as a family and consumer science leader, districts across the globe get Canva for Education completely free. And not only the free, like stripped down version, they get premium version Canva at absolutely no cost. So all of the features that I'm sharing with you about AI are all available to educators and districts. There are district accounts where a district will onboard Canva for Education for all students and all teachers. But even if a district hasn't onboarded Canva for Education, you can still apply for a Canva for Education account as a teacher, and you're going to get it absolutely free. So again, you're going to have access to all of the things that I'm sharing with you today. So we are going to explore my favorite places you can find AI in Canva. We are not going to be able to do a deep dive on all of it. Some of it we're just going to skim the surface on, but I really hope by the end of today's session, you're going to really have your eyes open to the possibilities. And I am going to share with you so many resources that you're going to be able to take and explore even further when we're done. So we're going to play a little bit. And what I've created for you is a site. And this is a Canva website. So not only can you create presentations and designs and all sorts of things, you can also create websites that come with their own URLs that you can make public or private. And so when you get into this website, you are going to be able to scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're going to find lots and lots of resources for you to dive into. The bit.ly on the bottom of the screen is case sensitive. So make sure that you get the C in Canva capitalized as well as the PHIU at the end. And when you get to that site, you're going to see at the very top, there is a Let's Play deck. Now, everybody learns differently. And so some of you might just want to have your pen and paper right now. And as I'm diving into some of the features, you just might want to jot down your own notes and just watch. Perfectly fine. Some of you might have a dual screen situation and you want to play along as I'm showing you. I've created this Let's Play deck for you for that reason. But those of you who are just jotting down notes, you're going to be able to jump back into this Let's Play deck later and play at your own speed and take your time. So I wanted to make sure you had both options there depending on the kind of learner that you are. I'm going to give you guys just a moment to get in there. And I'm going to back out of my presentation for just a minute. And I want to show you, I'm actually in the website right now. So if you go to the very top here, I made it a different colored border. It's like an orangey salmon border. When you click on that, yours should say View Template. Mine says Edit because I'm the owner, but yours should just say View Template. That's what you're going to click on. And when you click on it, it's going to ask you to kind of get into your account. And then you're going to see that, that slide deck of the Let's Play features that I'm going to share with you on your screen. If you have any questions, just type it in the chat or unmute so I make sure I address them before we get moving. All right, give me a thumbs up if you guys are good. You have what you need. Yay. Okay, perfect. We are going to move on then. I'm going to start sharing with you Magic Studio because Magic Studio is truly a magical place where you're going to be able to do all sorts of photo editing and very cool things. And we're going to start with what most people already know is possible, and that is background remover. And so I want to just get you situated in Canva before I show you some of these features. When you are in a design, you're going to notice that wherever I click on the screen that has the purple kind of box around it, you're going to get this little mini sidebar that pops up. And then you're going to get this sidebar, this kind of top toolbar that is going to pop up at the top. And in this toolbar, it's giving you all of the things that you can do to change whatever it is you're clicked on. So because I'm clicked on a text box, all of these options for editing this are going to pop up. Now, if you're in the Let's Play deck, I may have locked that for you. And so if you don't see that toolbar, that is why I've locked that. So that is not editable. The picture should be editable. So when you click on the photo, you're going to see this toolbar at the top that's showing you all of the colors that are in this that could be changed. You're going to see an eraser. You're going to see this background remover, which is what we're going to do now. So I'm going to click on background remover. And when I do that, it automatically removes the background from that photo. And it does it pretty instantaneously. And what I love about the background remover in Canva is that it does it for photos, but it also does it for videos. Last time I checked, I believe you could remove the background from a video that was up to 2 minutes long. So that's pretty fun if you are wanting to, like, maybe students in the classroom are wanting to create a video, but then have like this, make it look like they're in the kitchen, you know, or in a business, and have that behind them. Also, so many reasons, just as FCS leaders, you could use that feature as well. So now we're going to start exploring some of the cool additional features that Canva has with the photo editor and Magic Studio. So now what I'm going to do in this next slide is I'm going to actually click on the picture, and instead of going to the background remover on the top toolbar, I'm going to click edit instead. And when I click edit, I am going to see all of these options here, and we're going to go through most of them. The second one over is the background generator. It's going to look like a little green, lime green background with the white sunglasses. I'm going to go ahead and click on that button. And what I'm going to do is I am going to describe the scene that I want to replace what that butterfly background is at the moment. So maybe I want to a flower field of tulips. I just saw something on Facebook today about the amazing tulip fields up in Northern Oregon that are doing tours right now and having hot air balloon rides. So that came to mind. So, and I'm going to say, I'll say yellow tulips. See what happens. Now, granted, with AI, you sometimes are going to be pleasantly surprised with what you get, and sometimes you're not. And that's just kind of the luck of the draw. But what Canva does is it always creates for you 4 different options. And so you are going to be able to kind of pick from those options, but then what you also are going to be able to do is try again. So if you are not happy with what it creates in the first try, you can try again and look for some other possibilities. So now you can see it did a pretty great job. So now I have a butterfly in a field of tulips. And most of these that you see as the options are pretty similar, but I can kind of flip through and find the one that I like. Again, if I decided, oh, I want to change those to pink tulips or maybe a variety of tulip colors, I could go in and I could make those changes here. So that is the background generator. And that one is fairly new. Canva has only brought that in, I think, within the last few months. And what you're going to notice in Canva too is that as Canva gets close to their big annual event called Canva Create, lots of new things are going to roll out. And so I've already found a few little surprises in my Canva lately that are beginning to roll out because Canva Create is getting near. And as I share with you some of these features, please in the chat, just ask your questions. If you would like to just unmute as well, if you're more comfortable doing it that way, please do. I want this to be as interactive as possible for those of you who are trying these things out. I want you to feel comfortable using the tools. So for this one, we are going to be looking at the Magic Eraser. And the Magic Eraser is really nice when you only want to get rid of certain aspects of your picture. So for instance, maybe you took a picture of at a business, or maybe it was in a classroom, and there's something that the picture's great, except there's just something in that picture that you want to be able to remove. This is the tool that you want to use to be able to do that. So I'm going to click on the picture, and I'm going to click on Edit. And when I click on Edit, I'm going to go to the right of the background generator where it says Magic Eraser. And I'm going to click on that one. And you're going to notice when I click on this, I have some options. I can click the brush. I can just click the click, which is going to allow me to click an object within that picture. or I can click the foreground or text. And then underneath, it's giving me a brush size. So sometimes when we erase things, it's really fine and detailed. And we are worried that if we have too big of a brush stroke, it's going to take parts of that picture that we don't want to remove. So by reducing that brush size, I can get really detailed with my removal. And you can notice as I'm brushing over, I'm going to just try to remove the cherry from the top of this cupcake. It's just erasing in purple the part that I want to go away. And then as soon as I'm done, I can let go. And then I'm going to click the erase button right below. And when I do that, it should just take away that cherry. So now it is completely gone. I can click out of Magic Eraser, and now I could maybe add something to the top. Maybe I wanted to put a candle on top because it's somebody's birthday. I'd be able to do that really easily. So really, really great way to, again, kind of fine tune those pictures that you have and want to get just the right look and remove things that are unwanted. Magic Grab is similar to Magic Eraser, except what it will do is it will just pick up certain objects and allow you to enlarge them, maybe make them smaller, or maybe remove them entirely. And I'm going to share with you, once we kind of go through these editing features, a new one that Canva has just released called Magic Layers, which is kind of like an elevated Magic Grab. So let me show you how this works. I'm going to click on the photo, and then I'm going to go to Edit again, and I'm going to just move over to the Magic Grab that has the hot air balloon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Magic Grab, and it is going to try to ask me, what do I want to move? Do I want to grab this butterfly, or do I want to brush over what I want to grab? Now, you notice when I click on the click, it is wanting to grab, oops, I clicked around too much. It was wanting to grab kind of the top of this flower as well. I'm going to get out of it and go again. Uh-oh, my page is unresponsive. Hold on, just 1 second. Uh-oh. Are you guys still see me though? Thumbs up. We're still good? Okay, good. It was just my Canva that crashed. So let's get back in there again. Okay, here we go. So we're going to get back in there again, and I'm going to show you kind of the difference between the Magic Grab and the click feature of that and the, oh goodness, hold on. There we go. And the click and the brush. So click, when I click on that, it is wanting to kind of grab this whole thing. If I clicked on the brush, I could just brush over what I wanted to remove. So let's just go ahead and click on the click one. I'm going to click that, and then where's my little? Usually it's going to show up here that, there we go, grabbing it. Okay. So let's see what happens. So now it picked up that whole thing. So like I said, when I click the click, it's bringing the flower in as well. So now I'm going to be able to move this around, but maybe I decide after I do that, well, I don't really want that flower part of this butterfly. So I'm now going to go back into, I can either click the eraser, or I can click on the Magic Eraser within Studio, and now I can remove the part of this that I don't want. So I don't want this little flower stem on top. I could get more detailed on that if I wanted to. I erase it, and now I just have the butterfly. So now I can add this little butterfly down here with its other butterfly friends. And now it is completely removed from that picture. And notice how well it does removing that butterfly, but still leaving the background. It didn't leave this weird little hole in the background. It really just kind of covered it in really nicely, which is great. So I use this feature all of the time, especially if something, maybe I have a picture that I find in the Elements library in Canva, or maybe it's my own picture, and I just want to resituate something. maybe it's just not quite in the right spot, or maybe I want to make it just a little bit bigger, or maybe I want to add some cool like shadows behind it. I can really play around with the things in my picture by having this feature. It's really neat. Now, another feature that is very, very cool is the magic text. And so it does essentially the same thing, except what it does is it grabs text boxes rather than grab the objects. So if I click on this menu here, and again, go to my edit and click grab text, it is going to scan this menu and it's going to try to decide where the text boxes are. So you can notice it is letting me click on every single text box on this page. So maybe I decide, you know what, I want to just change the top title of this because I love the menu, but I want to call it Cafe Richmond. I can go ahead and grab that text box. And now look what I can do. I can move it around and I can call it Cafe Richmond. And not only can I change the name of it, I can also add some different fonts. So maybe I decide I want it to be in this kind of font here. Maybe I want to change the color of it and make it red, or black wouldn't be good, orange. Maybe even kind of this iridescent color. I can do that. So I have all of those options. Great too for those recipes or things, documents where you have this kind of tried and true thing that you've been using for years, but you can't find the original copy. Canva will let you bring it in and then make those edits to it by being able to grab the text like this. So it's a really, really neat feature. All right, I'm looking at the chat. I don't see any questions coming in yet, but please stop me if you need me to show you something again or you want me to answer any questions, please do that. So this is a fairly new feature, image to video. In fact, I want to say it's come out in just the last couple months. And so what this does is it's pretty amazing. It takes the video and it makes it move. And let me give you an example by showing you with this train. If I click on the picture and go to edit and click on image to video, I can create a custom. So maybe I have very specific things that I want this video to do. I can go in and I can describe the ideal motion. But if I just want to see what it'll do on its own and have the AI kind of work its magic, I can just simply click Smart and click Generate a 5-second video. And sometimes with these video features, it takes just a little bit longer. So you can see when I did the background remover, it was like instantaneous, right? Magic Eraser was pretty instantaneous. This one is requiring a little bit more. So it is working a little bit harder. So let's see what happens. Oh, you can see the picture right here. So now the train is moving. So not only is the train moving, but now I have this little rustling tree kind of in the foreground that is also showing movement, right? So maybe in my video, I would have preferred the train to be going the opposite direction, right? That would be where I would have gone into the custom and just told it what direction I wanted that train to move.
What does that look like in presentation mode?
So great question. So if you'll notice that when I'm on this video, that this toolbar changes again, right? So I could, if I wanted to, go in and change the video speed so it could go faster. I also can have it play automatically if I want, or have it play on repeat. So you can make those choices. So if I go in to present mode, because I had it clicked on play automatically, it's automatically going to play. If you wanted it to click, to not go until you clicked on your mouse or your clicker, then you could do that as well. Also notice that I can change the speed up here. So, and then I could also make the clip shorter or longer here as well. So I have lots of different options. Okay, pretty fun, isn't it? I just always blown away by just these new things that come out. Now this one is fun as well. I'm going to take the same train and we're just going to use the still image right now. But one of the things that I want to point out is that all of these features that I'm showing you in Magic Studio are layerable, and it wasn't always the case. But now, let's say I decide I want this train to be red. I can go in to my Magic Edit, and I could say, change the train color to red. And let's see, I want to click, I guess, on the, I'm just going to do all. Let's see what happens. We'll see if it works. So let's say I change the train color to red, but then I wanted to take that changed picture and then I wanted to change it into a video. Now I can go in after it has made those changes. I can go in and use my image to video and have that red train moving. So it's not like I have to just choose one action and stick with that. I can layer my actions on top of each other, which really allow for some very, very cool customizable photos and videos. And notice how I just did a really good job of painting that train red, right? Like you would never know that that picture wasn't originally that, that red color. Okay, so Magic Expand is a really cool feature to use when, let's say you have a picture. So, you know, when you're taking a picture, you're on vacation and you maybe take a picture so it's portrait style, but then you decide later you want that portrait style photo to fill a presentation slide. Well, it doesn't work that way because it won't move that direction. So you try to make it larger, but it just won't fit all the gaps. So what it will do in Canva is I can click on Magic Edit, and then I can go to Magic Expand, and I can decide how I want this picture to fill the screen. So I can choose freeform, whole page, or one-to-one. I'm going to do the whole page. Sometimes it does wacky things, I will tell you. Sometimes it wants to put animals and people in, like you just kind of have to play around with it. I'm going to go ahead and click on expand because I want these flowers to fill the whole page. Let's see, it's going to give me 4 options again. So anytime, so did a pretty good job. So you can see I have some different kind of options. It's taking a little bit for the pixelation to come through. Right now it looks a little bit blurry, but it will clear up and make a crisp image. But now I have that picture filling the entire screen. So there's some of these that I definitely like more than others, but a great way to get photos that are not necessarily the right size. And these could be photos you've taken, or they could be photos that you find in the element library. It doesn't matter, but it will take those photos and change the, it'll fill it in the way that you want to fill it in. I'm having a hard time finding words. So I love that one as well. So the last one I'm going to show you in the Magic Studio is Magic Media. And Magic Media is one that is so, I love it for so many reasons. I love it as an educator because there's times where I don't find the photo that I want. Maybe it's close, but I can't find the exact thing. Also, I love it to create short little video clips. It is great if a teacher is maybe teaching child development and wants to create a storybook, but they want the pictures to match the story that's being told, whether that's the students creating the stories or the educator, the teacher creating the storybooks. So to find Magic Media, you have to go to a different place. So there are 2 places that you can find it. One place is within your elements. And so if I click on the top here, and they might have, let's see if they've moved it. They might have, like I said, we're having Canva create soon, so they might have moved it from the top here. Oh, no, yep, it's right here. So when you click generate here, it is going to ask you what you want to generate, and then that magic media is going to happen in the back end. I'm going to show you the way I know because this is new. And I want to make sure that I'm showing you the way that I know works. And that is by going into your apps. So this little button is on your sidebar here. And I just have to type in Magic Media in the top toolbar, and it's going to pop right up. It is a Canva created app. This is not a third-party app. I'm going to click on it, and you're going to see that I can create not only images, I can create graphics, videos, and 3D objects that can be like moved. Really, really cool. So I'm going to start with an image, and I am going to create, let's see, a flamingo in Palm Springs. I'm going to say a flamingo in Palm Springs shopping. We're going to see what happens here. And notice that I can choose all of these different styles. So I can choose anywhere from kind of this filmic style all the way to color pencil, ink print, stained glass. I can also decide not to choose a style and just see what it comes up with. So I think I might try that. I can also choose what kind of layout. So it could be landscape, it could be portrait, it could be square. So let's go ahead and choose the square option. And then I'm just going to click on the bottom where it says generate images. And we're going to see what it comes up with. Again, it's going to come up with 4 different styles of images that we can choose from. And oh, very cool. So notice because I didn't select a style, it's giving me some different styles to choose from, which I love because sometimes I don't know what style I want. Maybe I want to be surprised. So now I have this. These are actually all really fun. So this is kind of more of kind of this watercolor look where the flamingo has the shopping bags. I also have this one here that looks like it is just shopping in downtown. Also has sunglasses on, which is kind of fun. I have this one here that it has kind of the town of Palm Springs in the background, which is pretty accurate. I've been in Palm Springs this week and it does look just like that. And then I have this one here that kind of has this storefront in the background. But what I love about Magic Media is that I can use my Magic Studio features to alter these. So maybe I really love this, but maybe this kind of shopping bag kind of on the back of the flamingo is kind of a weird location for them to be. Maybe I want to get rid of those altogether. I can use Magic Eraser and I can get rid of them. Maybe I want to use Magic Grab and I want to move this flamingo to the right or left because I want to add some type of a logo or some text to this image. All of those options are there. I could even use background remover. So I really can create images that are exactly the way that I want them by generating them with AI through Magic Media, but then also going in and using Magic Studio to fine tune and really to make them pop or make them exactly to my specifications. Now, one of the things that I also appreciate is that as soon as I bring in one of these Magic Media photos into my page, it is saving it for me. So if I go over here to uploads, I'm going to find them. But also, if I want to generate more like this, I can simply click these 3 dots and it's going to create more that are similar. So maybe I want to kind of stay with this theme. I can create a whole collection of media images that fit that style. But if I go into my uploads here, notice that I have all of those photos here. They've kept them for me. And I could also create, if I wanted, I could put them into a folder. So maybe I want to create my own flamingo folder. I can simply type in flamingo, move that to my flamingo folder. And now when I go into my projects and I look for my flamingo folder, those images are going to be there. So it really allows you to kind of not only create, but organize them in a way that makes sense to you. All right. Anybody create something fun? Has anybody tried it?
I did
I
the
would love,
Canva sledding, that prompt. I'm sorry,
oh,
the
fun.
panda, yeah.
The panda sledding. I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, really, really fun. What style did you use? Do you know what style it came up with?
I picked watercolor.
Oh, very cool. Love it. Okay, so before we jump into something that totally blows my mind, which is Canva Code, I want to share with you just a little bit about accessibility, because accessibility is really important, especially if you're working in education within family and consumer science. And even if you are working outside of education, to be able to create designs that are accessible, that everybody is going to be able to see, is super important. And so one of the features that allows for you to see how well you're doing with your design is the design accessibility feature in File. So if I click on my File button, and it's right up here on the top, and I go to accessibility, right over here, it is going to show check design accessibility. When I click on that, I have this little pop-up that's going to show up on the right-hand side, and it's going to tell me what my issues are. It's going to tell me if there's any typography issues, any color contrast issues, if there's any photos that I haven't used alt text on. So it's, for instance, there's a lot of issues here. I need to go into all of my graphics or photos and be able to apply alt text. So if somebody is reading with a screen reader, they're going to be able to read those photos. So this is a really great way to check to make sure that the designs that you create are accessible for all that are accessing them. Another really important feature is the translate. And the last time I checked, Canva translates into over 130 languages. And it will do it from a few different access points within Canva. One of the access points is right here on the screen. So if I click on this, I love learning new ideas, and then go to the three dots that are right above it, down at the very, very bottom, you're going to see the translate text. And when I click that, it is going to allow me to, first of all, change my settings. So I might want to only change, I don't want to duplicate the page. I just want to change the text on this page. I can unclick that. And then I can decide what language I want to be able to translate to. So let's do Spanish. And I love that a lot of languages, not all of them, but many languages are going to allow you to select tone of voice. So not only can I translate to Spanish, but I also can choose from professional, conversational, friendly, informative, or inspirational. So let's say I want it to change it to conversational. I have already decided on the text box that I want to translate. So it's only translating this text box. It's not translating the others. And I'm going to click translate on the bottom, and it is going to change it to the conversational Spanish. Now, if you're trying this and you're trying to click other boxes, again, remember that I've locked some of the boxes for you. So if a box is locked, it's not going to translate it, even if you ask it to. Those boxes have to be unlocked. And I can unlock a box by simply clicking on the box and clicking on the little lock that pops up there. So thinking about how we can create not only amazing designs, videos, all sorts of documents, etc., but now we can create it and then translate it into any language that we want. So it is, again, accessible for anyone, is pretty amazing. Another access point for translate is by going up, and this is kind of a strange place for it. If I go to my resize at the very top and go all the way to the bottom, I also have translate here. And this is a great access point if you want to just translate everything in one fell swoop. So I can, again, select my language. Maybe I want to choose Albanian. I can choose specific pages, or I can choose everything. And then I can decide if I want to translate this existing copy or if I want to create an additional copy in that language. So in this case, if I keep it unchecked, it's going to keep my original, but it's going to create an entirely new presentation for me that's completely in Albanian. Again, your text boxes have to be unlocked for it to translate those text boxes. So you'll want to make sure that they're unlocked, but all unlocked text boxes will then be translated to that new language. So pretty amazing. Okay, the last feature for accessibility that I'm going to show you before we jump into Canva Code is alt text. So you saw when I went up to design accessibility that I have not applied alt text to all of my photos. And it is important for people who are using screen readers to be able to read those photos. So what I can do is I can click on the photo itself, go to the three little dots that pop up when I click on that photo. And then you're going to see the alt text button or icon here towards the bottom of that list. When I click on it, what I love is it is already giving me a suggestion. So I can choose to have AI create that suggested alt text for me, or I could type in my own. So if I'm not happy with what AI has come up with to apply to this photo, I can go in and I can make those changes. I can also decide if I want to mark that as decoration. So it may not need alt text, and then I click save. And so now that is going to be applied to that picture that I have put on that page. So I think those are really just important AI features just to note, because accessibility is important and we want everybody to be able to access the designs that we create. Okay, how are we doing? Are we good? All right, let's move on to a feature that absolutely blows my mind, and that is Canva Code. So for this, I'm going to just kind of share with you some things that you can create with Canva Code, and then I'm going to get completely out of my presentation and we're going to go to the home page and we're all going to explore together. So for Canva Code, we can create everything from maybe memorization games. And when we create these things that we can consider are, what do we want our students to experience when they're playing this memorization game? So really, when you think about Canva Code, using a prompt, you're going to be able to create a widget. And that widget can come into any form. It can be published as a website. It can be brought into a design, but it's basically this interactive experience. So maybe we want to create a memory match game, but we want, as soon as they find a match that's correct, confetti pops onto the screen. We can write that into our prompt so that happens. We also may want to write into our prompt what we want to happen if they don't make the match. Instead of confetti, maybe a buzzer is going to sound, or maybe they're going to turn red. We can make those choices. We also may want to change various levels of difficulty. Maybe we want to add a timer. So these are just all considerations to think about as we are working with Canva Code. We can create game shows. I created a Jeopardy game a few weeks ago for my students to learn about Oregon food handlers. And it was amazing. Without hardly any refinement, we were able to play it as a class. And same kinds of things. Do we want it to score automatically? Do we want to have various levels of difficulty? Do we want it to be a game that resembles Family Feud or Jeopardy? We can make those choices. Maybe we want to create a probability game. Maybe we want to create an arcade game. But it doesn't have to just be games. Maybe we want to create a family and consumer science simulation. Maybe we want to have maybe a food safety investigation lab or an escape room. Maybe we want to have patient scenarios. Maybe we want to have a business simulator. So many things. I mean, really, the sky's the limit. These are ideas, these are possibilities, but there is so much that we can do within Canva Code to create these incredible experiences. And I am just blown away every single day as I'm trying to create things. So this is all in the website I created for you. So you're going to be able to absorb all of this and go back later. But I want to just really show you first how it works. So I'm going to go to my home page in Canva. And if I am in my home page, you're going to see at the very top, I have 3 different ways that I can search for things within Canva. This is my own designs. I can search for templates within the Canva library, but then I can access Canva AI, which is what we are going to do. So when I go to Canva AI, you're going to see these things that I can create here on the bottom. So I am going to start by clicking on Canva Code. And you're going to see that there are some things that Canva has already kind of created for us that's already coded that we might want to create. So maybe we want to create a color accessibility simulator. Maybe we want to create a vocab matching game or a simple countdown timer or an interactive menu for my restaurant. Notice as soon as I click on that, this prompt generator or this prompt box is already filled in with that code. So now I can simply click on my little arrow and it is going to write the code for me to create that interactive menu. It used to be when I would go into Canva Code, it actually showed you all the code in real time and it was just all kind of flashing across the screen. Now it's just basically showing you line by line underneath what it's currently creating. This takes sometimes a little bit of time, especially when you're creating something really complex. I mean, think about the code that's happening in the background to make that come to life. It's not going to happen just instantaneously, but it does happen pretty fast. And one of the things that I love about this feature is that you can refine it. So Canva is going to spit something out for you using the Canva code based on the prompt that you give it. But then maybe it's done and you think, oh, I like this, but it's kind of boring. Maybe I want some more vibrant colors. Or maybe I want to add some more visuals to this. Or maybe I want a different outcome when, you click on a button. So notice just based on that particular prompt that I gave it, it has created this craft your perfect meal menu. I can go in here and I can change the prices, etc. So maybe I decide, you know what, I like this, but it's kind of boring. I don't like this brown banner. Maybe I want this color here to be different. Maybe I want to add some different categories on top. I simply tell it down here under the Ask Me Anything what I want Canva to change, and it will change it for me, and it will give me version 2. So then I see version 2 and I think, oh, this is great. However, maybe it's not working like it's saying it's supposed to work. Maybe this button isn't clicking. Tell it, this button isn't working. Can you fix it? And it will go back and it will recode to fix it. And it will tell you, it'll say, oh, you're right. This is what's happening. I'm going to go ahead and fix this for you. And it'll spit out the next version. So I want to show you one thing that I created for you to have you be able to play a little bit. So I went in and I created an FCS prompt generator. And one of the things, I actually was just in a session with one of my former colleagues at Canva, and it was saying that you have to double click. Yeah. When you first open this up, you have to double click on the background for it to be active. So let's say I want to choose housing and interiors, and I want to create what do I want to create? I want to create a group project. And I want it to be for high school. I click the subject area or the topic area, I click the activity type, I click the grade level, and then I click generate activity. And it has created the prompt that I need to use to pop into my Canva code. Maybe I want to change the variation. I can just click this and it's going to pop up a new prompt for me. So let's say I want to copy that prompt. I think I copied it. And so I can come back into my Canva code. I can paste it in and I can see what it will come up with for me. And not only that, something else that I created for you is a whole kind of spreadsheet of FCS related prompts and scenarios that you could create for whatever it is that you're wanting to create. I'm going to show you where that is in just a moment. In fact, let's do that now while this is kind of working on the back end. I'm going to go back to this website. And where did I put this for you? Oh, it's right here. So I create, oh, there's something funny. This is overlapping. I'll fix that when we're done. But you can see I have the category. And then I have Oh, something wonky happened when I brought this in. So I will fix that because these aren't lining up real great. But you should be able to go in here when I fix it and copy each of those different prompts and then be able to paste it again into Canva Code, and it should create something for you, whether it is a would you rather decision game, a meal planning generator, a build a plate tool, a label reading challenge. I created lots of different things for a variety of different family and consumer science areas here for you to be able to use. And I'm telling you, like, it blows my mind because I have been teaching for a long time. I started teaching in 1996, and I love gamifying my classroom. I love creating interactive experiences for my students. And for so long, I did this all by myself. Like, I just would like try to create these really cool looking things, and I would try to link boxes so it would be like a game. And now you don't have to do that anymore. Like, you can simply go in here and you can give it a prompt, and it is going to create this incredible simulation or game for you. And again, like, you can still refine it. If it's not exactly what you want, just have a conversation and keep refining it until you get a great finished product. And so really think there's so many incredible possibilities here for you. While I'm in this website, I want to show you, because I know we're getting close to our time here, that I have given you lots and lots of resources. The AI in Canva is incredible, and it's changing every day. And like I said, Canva Create is happening, I think it's on April 16th. And so that means that there's lots of things happening on the back end right now that you're either going to see popping into Canva or popping in very soon. And no doubt they're going to bring in more AI than they already have. But I encourage you to play, because I really do find Canva can do a lot, but it's also very intuitive. You can create spreadsheets in Canva that will create magic insights. There's AI on the back end on those spreadsheets. You can create videos in Canva. You can create your own presentations in Canva, and just click around and spend some time, because it's really, really phenomenal. Down here, I've created some Canva AI guides for you that are created by Canva, where you can spend a little bit of time. This here, Transform Your Classroom with Canva Code, is going to go in a little bit more detail about Canva Code. There's also AI skills for students and educators here that you can go through. And again, just so many possibilities. And before we end, I want to show you one more thing. When we go into Canva here and I click on, let me go back to the very back where there's AI here. I can also create like a video clip for a presentation. I created this video clip earlier, fashion design era, and it did it within, I asked it to create, what did I say? A video about fashion design eras from 50s to present day. And within a minute, it created that little clip for me. I also had asked it earlier to create a presentation on fashion era's influences and characteristics. It created all of both of these options, and it created, I'll just open it up here. It created the full presentation. I didn't even ask it to create the content for me, but it created the entire presentation with visuals included, going through each decade of fashion eras. And so now I have this presentation that may not be exactly the way that I want it, but AI gave me a starting point. It gave me a foundation that now I can build on, and I can customize it to be exactly what I'm looking for. So for instance, that particular design using Canva AI, I can simply click on design, click on presentation. I can choose my audience. Maybe I want it to be educational. I can click my style. Maybe I want it to be playful. And I can even click my length. If I want it to be balanced, maybe I write 5 to 15 pages. Type in my prompt. And again, just like I did with the fashion eras, it is going, let me just do it really quick. Create a presentation on the origin of spaghetti. And click this. And something that it's done recently that it didn't used to do is it's going to allow me to edit each page, page by page. So now it's giving me every single page of this presentation it's creating for me, and it's allowing me to change the outcome. So maybe I don't like what it's doing here with the ancient pasta origins. I can go in and I can change this, and it is going to pop out or generate a presentation based on what I asked it to. So, Kyle, how are we feeling?
A little better.
A
I've
little
noticed
better.
in my Canvas, I must have the free version. So I think getting into where I actually have access to these tools
Got it.
as an educator might
Now,
be better.
okay. Now are you a professor at a
Hmm.
university? And do you know if your university has Canva for education?
I don't know if we do, but
I would check because a lot of universities are purchasing. They get it at a reduced cost at the university level, but they are purchasing Canva. So I would double check and see if you already have it, because you might have access to Canva for Education and not even realize it.
Sydney, do you pay for yours?
Yes, I pay for mine. But I started paying for it when I was working with a nonprofit. And so it just was so useful that I just kept paying for
Oh, I'm
Mhm.
too cheap to pay for it. I'm
it.
on a professor's salary. I got to get the university to pay for it to get a free account.
Yeah, I mean, the AI features are one of those features that are in the Canva for Education. And again, like if you're a business or non-education, you know, leader, then you would have to buy the premium to get that access. But it is worth it. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal what you can do. And I want to just kind of leave you with some extra resources too that are also in that
Let,
website.
let
I
me ask
have,
you this
oh yeah,
question
absolutely.
as you're navigating there. So where, from an ethical standpoint, do you put in your reference that this was created and assisted with AI, or is that just a given now? Like if I throw up a
Yeah.
canvas, like where do you give ownership to the AI in your?
Yeah, I think that is kind of a realm. I mean, there is a whole conversation around AI ethics right now and policy, and I think that conversation is kind of being developed, and it might be, um, something that it's interesting. It'd be interesting to know, like at your university, like what the stance is on that and what people are doing to be able to cite. I would think you would cite like you do anything else if you are going to be, sharing information or data from a particular location. You would cite it just like you would cite anything else. Um, but it depends too on what you are adding with the AI into your presentation. Like you wouldn't necessarily do that if you were just using, maybe some of the Magic Studio features. But if your entire presentation or video was created, then maybe you might want to cite that. So it's a really interesting world because it is changing so fast, and the policy and kind of the ethics around it is something that everybody's having conversations about. It's a great question.
Well, and my, like to me, editing it and if you brought in your own picture and you're editing those photos, I would
Hmm.
just think some cliche statement of some images were altered using AI.
Right.
But if you're creating the whole presentation and then going back and just editing it to make sure that it's correct, as would be the
Hmm.
ethical thing to do, the information about, like, say, your
Right.
history of spaghetti, that
Right.
there needs to be a statement that the presentation was generated by AI and fact checked by.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. And And I appreciate the point about the fact checking, because that is really important, because I would want to make sure that the origin of spaghetti presentation that I just created was indeed correct and accurate. And so, as with anything with AI, you always want to make sure that you are sharing information that is true and accurate, 100%. So it's a wild world. I mean, things are shifting and changing so fast, and these conversations are important to have surrounding the topic, because it's not going away, and it's just going to get more and more detailed, and the features are just going to become even more extraordinary than they already are. And it's a world that, if we're in the education realm, our students are in right now, and they're going to be in it. And so, how do we prepare them for this world where it exists, and it's going to really it's changing already the way that we work, for sure.
That's amazing, Tisha. Thank you so much. And did you have one more thing you wanted to share? You were talking about students.
No, I think I covered most everything. I mean, there is more, always more with Canva. One thing that if you are working with students that you might want to explore is the create student activities. Canva will allow you to come in here and select grade levels. Unfortunately, FCS is not yet in their subjects. I'm going to continue to work on that with them, but you can find a lot of subject areas here and learning purpose. So looking at, do we want students to understand, apply, analyze, or evaluate, or create? And it is going to generate some incredible student activities for you as well. And so that's just a whole other realm that you might want to take a look at if you are working with students.
Amazing. Thank you, Tisha, so much for your time tonight. I have learned a
Absolutely.
ton. I think everyone, we were so intently listening and going through the steps, having that Let's Play deck, so helpful. I'm excited to share that with our membership, so when they watch the recording, they can continue to have fun with Canva and explore things. I know I'm excited to give it a go, and we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us for our chapter chat. And if you want to learn more and have those resources at your fingertips, don't forget we have a special discount link to Tisha's new book. It is the Magical CTE Classroom. And also, we'll be sharing out that link to the Let's Play deck as well, in case you didn't grab that.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for being here. And reach out if you have any questions. All of my contact information is on the very bottom of that website. So never hesitate to reach out with questions.
Thank you so much, Tisha.
Thank you,
Thank
Anne. Thank you,
you.
Melissa. Thank you, everybody. Have a good